connections. We get this question a lot. We got it yesterday. Where do we start? I just got the Lofty system. I don't know what to do first, second, and third. There's kind of an overwhelm with everything that the Lofty company throws at you, right? There's all these tutorials that are about the software, but in the real world,
you need it practical for your business.
Practically, where do I start?
Yeah.
I feel like they don't really tell you the right thing. And we get this question a lot. We just answered it yesterday on another call. We're going to answer it for you here today. So, Floyce, what do you think? You're a Lofty user.
First, you start with your website. This is important because this is a front store. This is where people come in to see what you do. And if this is not set up right, Steve, it will hurt your business at some point.
Yeah. And let's back up. We have a 6-step framework that we talk about when people ask where to get started and what to do. We have a roadmap, so we get them on this path. It's going to be 6 steps. And number 1, as Floyd said, is the website. You got to have a website. It's the cornerstone of the entire system, right? Yeah. Because that's your storefront. That's where we're going to be sending all the people to. All the traffic is going to come in the front door, the side door, the windows. We're going to have landing pages built off of that. Yeah. That's really our home base. So got to get that set up first. That's the easiest part of the whole system, though, to tell you the truth. You don't need to overthink this. We have a service where we can do this for you, or you could try doing it yourself. But you just need a good, solid website. So what's step 2 then of the 6 steps?
Before we go to the step 2, about overthinking it, Steve, we've seen agents that either service the luxury market or they are just regular agents serving the regular home buyer. And especially with the luxury agents, they tend to opt for a brochure site with the, let's say, WordPress, so that it gives them that luxury look and feel, and then have Lofty as a backend to nurture leads. Now, that is a huge problem. Why, Steve?
Yes, we don't recommend using WordPress for your Lofty system. It is possible. And if you ask the Lofty people, they will tell you, yes, you can do it. Sure.
Yeah, you can integrate.
But we have clients that have done it. It's tricky. It doesn't integrate as tightly as the native Lofty websites. So we usually steer our clients away from it. The reason that people usually want a WordPress website is because it's more flexible.
Yeah.
And you can build.
You have different templates that feel and look like.
You can build without walls.
Yeah.
Whereas the Lofty system is very templated, and there are some limitations in how you can build. But here again, for most real estate agents, you really don't need to overthink this. You don't need to make the Sistine Chapel here. Keep it simple. It's a very clean, modern, silky smooth website that just works. It's built from the ground up for this.
And you're able to receive the customers from the front end, and then the CRM would work that client. If you have plans set for nurture, this works smoothly for you as an agent.
And I say don't overthink it, Floyce, but really if you are a Lofty user and you're just getting this system, it can be confusing, the website part. You really kind of have 3 choices, I feel like. Number 1, you can build it yourself.
Yeah.
Most agents, team leaders, and brokers don't want to spend the time to build a website. It's not a great use of your time, and you probably didn't sign up to be a web designer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So option number 2 that a lot of people do is they go on Fiverr and they find an offshore person. You'll find lots and lots of them that'll say that they are experts on Lofty, KV Core, Follow Up Boss, Sync, all these things. Usually they got the logos plastered all over the thumbnails, right? And they say that they're experts at it. And most people that do this find out pretty quickly, not so much.
Yeah.
And then the third option is to get a provider like Chime Nerds, like us. There's not many of us that do this, that are US based, that are licensed realtors, that understand the platform inside and out, and can just build it for you. So if you want to learn more about that, reach out.
All right, let's go to number 2. What is it?
So number 2, you got the website, number 1, and number 2 is data. You got to have some data, some grist for the mill. You got to have something. That's the fuel that you're putting in the car, in the machine. So if you don't have any data, some people will say, well, I don't have any data. If you're an experienced realtor with 3, 4, 5 or more years of experience, you have past clients, you probably have a past CRM that you use that you capture leads in. You can export that. And all of us have all the people we know in here, right in our phone. So you can always export the contacts from your iPhone or Android phone, your Gmail or whatever other email address or email accounts you have. If you combine those, if you think about it, your phone has the name and phone numbers, and your email has all the names and email addresses. So put them together, you got name, email, and phone number. That's 3 good data points that will get you started.
Or the good old way of, I've seen most realtors till now, even with technology as it is, use spreadsheets.
Some people have spreadsheets that they've accumulated over the years. Another source is purchased lists. Some people have lists that they purchased or scraped from public sources, or maybe from PropStream or RedX or something.
Or from your title company.
Your title company or partners that you've had. You could take those. Lenders, for you lenders out there, you have really good data because you can see the people that actually followed the process all the way through to the end. So, and that's going to be good for lookalike audiences that you could use. That's another whole subject.
Now, but the data, once you get that data, Steve, you've named all these sources. It's not enough. You got to make sure it's clean and it's ready to be uploaded on your CRM. This is important because if you don't do it the right way, it could hurt your business when it comes to campaigning, sending out emails to, let's say, buyers in Banana Street or sellers in whatever, or investors. So you need segmented data, clean data with addresses, emails, phone numbers. Like for some of the automation tools that we have in Lofty, those will not work if that data doesn't have an email, the right address to send like a home report or a market update, let's say. So you need data, but clean data. We have a product here at Nuts. It's SOI Kickstart, and we can help you get that done for you.
Right. So the data too, we have a data team and we can help you with that. And so let's assume you got the website, now you got the data and you put that into your CRM. So now you got some fuel for the machine. Now what? Now we need to get activity in the system. So now you're on step 3, which is the engagement tools. Now here is where you want to, if you go into your system under, I think it's under marketing now, marketing, and go to property alerts, you're going to see 3 tools there that you can set up. You can have auto property alerts, auto market snapshots, and auto market reports. So the first one is property alerts, is just listed data. The second one, market snapshots, is just sold data. That's good for homeowners or seller leads. And the third one, market reports, is good for everybody. Sellers, buyers, homeowners, investors, renters, all of them should be getting a monthly market report for their area. The more relevant, the better. Ideally, you know what area that they're interested in or live in. But you want to give them a monthly market report with MLS data, with the graphs and everything, that's set it and forget it, that you can then follow up on and spark a conversation.
But there's an art to this, Steve. When they're setting this up, they should set it to go out, like for property alerts, to go out twice or once a week. What do you recommend the cadence for that?
I think for property alerts, if it's an active buyer, a good baseline is once a week.
Okay.
Maybe twice a week, depending on how active and what stage they're at. And most people find this valuable and interesting. It shows up in their inbox. And if you dial it in, People love looking inside other people's homes, and this is going to give them some window shopping to do. For the market snapshots, if this is for homeowners, I like to do this twice a month or every other week for the cadence. And for the market snapshot, the market report, that should be once a month.
Yeah. You don't want to overwhelm them with so many emails about, this home just listed or this one just reduced price. You want to make sure that at least every week they get to see you in their inbox. And with time, like Steve said, if they're either hot or cold, they'll either tell you no or I'm ready. And if they say no, Steve, what do we do in this case?
Then just keep them on the long-term nurture. There's some long-term nurture smart plans that we're going to get to in some of the later steps, but just let them window shop. That's what Zillow does, and their lead generation strategy works. They give consumers what they want. They want to window shop for homes, and when they're ready, they raise their hand, and they know where to go. And that's what Zillow is: patient, waits for the people. When they are ready, they're there. And you want to have that same strategy.
What's the next one? So
that brings us to number 4. And step 4 is to set up the basic tools that come with the system, the virtual number and the AI. Most of you probably have the AI already come with the system. You can pay a little bit extra to have your own custom AI, but you want to start playing with that. But more importantly than that even is we encourage all of our Lofty users to get a virtual number. This is something that too many, I think, users skip, is getting a virtual number that's tied to the system. Because now you can make SMS text messaging campaigns. You can send and receive text messages and make phone calls, do call tracking, and even call recording if you want, with just turn one button on. So there's some compliance that you got to do and just kind of sign off on in the back end and let them know you're compliant because you're using the system to make phone calls and text. But it is very important for your workflow, especially when you are reaching out by phone or SMS text to cold leads. You don't want to do that with your cell phone.
Now, on the phone, I think if you have a VA that is not in the country, you can use the VoIP option.
Yeah, they introduced this a couple of years ago when we first started in 2018 or so. They only had one option. It was patched through to your cell phone.
Yeah.
But now they introduced a VoIP option, voice over IP, so that you can make calls directly from your desktop, from a browser. So that means that if you have a VA that is in the Philippines, he or she can just click the button. They got a headset on, and they can talk and make a phone call directly from their computer.
Before we leave this point, bonus point on AI. AI is huge right now, and Lofty, I think they've done a great job with upgrading what was initially there, because now when you go to each lead profile, it's analyzing. The AI Copilot is analyzing the activity, what that lead has done since it came to your system. And it actually tells you, it asks you, do you want me to draft an email to try and reach out? And then you if you say yes, it will. And then you clean it up, polish it to sound like you, and send it out. So it's very advanced. There's a whole bunch of tools, AI tools within Lofty that you can utilize. And you can also tweak the language, how you want it to talk to your clients. Mine is called Steve. And Steve does a good job so far. I haven't fired him yet.
She has a custom AI assistant. There's a few modules in there. There's an AI assistant that you can treat like another person that will actually respond to leads via text messaging and serve them up properties to look at or even qualify them.
And you can actually tweak what kind of lead that you want it to talk to. If you don't want it to talk to, let's say, hot leads, you can say, don't talk to this pipeline, or maybe you don't work with renters, you can still, like be so specific on what leads. Maybe you wanted to talk to the Fast 80 or leads from realtor.com or leads from Zillow. It's all up to you. You're in control. So that's a good.
You can dial that
Yeah.
in with even more and more specificity we've seen over the years.
Yeah.
And you can even make it just be reactive, so that if
Mhm.
somebody reaches out through your website at 2 a.m, it can be there when you're not to reply to them. It does it all by text and email, mostly text messaging, but it can be there and be instantly responding when you can.
We've actually seen a client of ours close a big deal with AI. He went on vacation for a month, came back, and then got a call, and the guy was like, "Oh, we've been talking, and da 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 da, and now I'm ready." And he looked it up, and he saw the AI was doing the work, and they ended up closing that deal in a year's time.
AI had a whole conversation for a month while he was on vacation. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So a lot is possible with AI. Definitely try that. That's step 4. Step 5 is going to be smart plans. So we get a lot of questions about smart plans. I think there's a lot of interest in smart plans.
We even went live about
people aren't quite sure what it is and how it works, but there are a lot of smart plans in the back end. If you click into the library, you'll see dozens and dozens of probably hundreds actually of smart plans pre-made, which can be daunting and overwhelming. So what we say is turn on 10 behavior-based smart plans to get started. And we have a list. If you reach out or drop us a DM, we'll send you our list of the 10 that we recommend absolutely positively should have turned on. And then the 2 long-term nurtures, one for buyers, one for sellers, that you should turn on.
But
and that'll get you started.
But you should audit those, because I know most people, when they get websites, if you're working with a provider or a vendor, they will recommend, "Oh, we also install smart plans for you," and you might get those. So just bear in mind, if you have other pre-installed smart plan, maybe it came with the system from your brokerage. So you gotta audit the system. And in fact, what we recommend is register yourself in your database as a lead, but maybe use a different name and entirely different email. Then see what you receive within a week.
Right. Act as a prospect.
Yeah. Then now you can go back to your system and say, "I don't want to receive this as a buyer," or "I'll keep this, I'll add more." So you have to be very, very careful, because you still want to humanize your system as much as you're automating some of these things, so that you don't have to do one by one. But you want to make sure that the end user, the consumer, feels like there's a real person handling their needs.
Yeah, I think a lot of people either underuse the smart plans. They don't turn anything on because they're either not sure what to turn on or afraid there's, how they're going to work. Or the other extreme, they got too many. We see this a lot too, where there's too many turned on and they're all stepping on each other's toes. So to Floyce's point, act as a prospect, use a separate email, separate phone number, and
see what you get.
Test the process. Yeah.
All right, number 6.
Okay, so the final one is number 6. And before we move on to number 6, let's just review what the process is so far. Number 1, make sure you have the website. Number 2 is data. Number 3 is the engagement tools, property alerts, market reports. Number 4 is the virtual number and the AI. Number 5 is smart plans. You're going to turn on the basic smart plans that come with the system. Which brings us to number 6. After all of that, walk through the process in that order. Now you're ready for step 6, which is campaigns.
And we love this part.
This is the fun part where you make offers and you can stimulate a lot of activity in your database, or bring new leads into your database. This could be lead generation. You could, and this is where you're going to create maybe email templates, landing pages. This involves landing pages. These are also called funnels. You'll hear the word funnels used, where you will make an offer, drive people to a landing page. That's where you're going to make the offer and capture the lead, and then have a sequence, an autoresponder, and a couple of follow-up sequences behind it.
But there's a but here, and we love to campaign. Just make sure you're not blasting unnecessary emails. This is not that part. This is intentional campaigning. You're campaigning because you have an offer, a well-engineered offer for that specific lead. If it's a buyer, you don't need to overload them with so much offers, one offer at a time, right, Steve?
Right. This is another common mistake that a lot of realtors and brokers do, which is just basically spam people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're sending out mass emails to people and not giving them something of value, something they expect or want, then you're spamming them. So you don't want to do that. But if you are crafting some well thought out offers, like she said, and we're going to unpack a couple of them here that you can put in front of them and bring them to a landing page. It's much more purposeful, and that's going to work better for you. You're going to get better deliverability, and you're not going to be dinged for being a spammer either.
All right, let's play a fun game now. Offers for buyers and offers for sellers. Which one do you want to do? Buyers or sellers?
How about buyers first?
Okay, you go.
Okay, so what might an offer for a buyer be? Well, it might be homes for sale in this area under this price. Click here.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like to do is figure out, like in our area, a single family home average is about 700,000, right?
Yes.
So a good offer would be homes for sale in my area under 600K.
Mm-hmm.
And then pull a list of that, and that's going to be people that are going to find interesting. Now, on the buy side, let's say you want to target investors. They love foreclosures. You could put together a foreclosure list. That would be a really good one. You can use your MLS and pull one. It's not quite as good as a handcrafted list that you would pull from public sources, but it's a good way to pique their interest and get some conversation started.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a couple of good buyer ones. Another good one would be a area guide or a buyer's guide, a downloadable PDF that you could offer. Some of these buyer guides are getting pretty stale, I think. You can get those anywhere.
Same,
But I think what's really effective is a good area guide.
A specific guide to what? Is it a guide for, like you gotta dissect it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Be super specific. Guide to.
And we've had some clients that had these made. There's services where they would pay somebody. You could use ChatGPT to put it together. You could even talk to ChatGPT and tell it things about the area that it can't just scrape off of the web. The idea is to give them something they can't just get from.
Like the best, it could be a guide for best homes, not best homes, sorry, but best packs, farmers market guide. It doesn't have to be a big book. It could be just one page at a time, but it's still a guide.
Or it could be a video.
Yeah, or it could be a video that you drop every Friday, and you say, here's your weekend guide for fun things to do in such and such.
We've had some people make relocation guides. So if you're in an area that has relocators coming in, especially military areas, military bases like San Antonio, and San Diego's another one where there's a lot of military moving in and out. They research that 3 months before they PCS or move to the area. So they want to know where the post office is, how to get the kids in school, where the best restaurants are, where the grocery stores are. So we've had people make an area guide that gets found when they're doing the research 3 months before the move.
Because they want recommendations of places that they can either walk or not drive too far within the base, like close to the base as possible. So you have to think of their needs and then work your way backwards.
So that's a few examples of offers that you could make, things that buyers would find valuable. We try to always come up with something that we think, what can they not find with ChatGPT or with Google.com? But just what can they not find on their own? And you're the area expert. So it's your job to give them something that they couldn't find anywhere else, only from you. You're on the ground. You know things that can't be scraped off the web. And there's still lots out there that these big search engines like Google or even Zillow don't give the information about your hyperlocal areas and farming areas.
Now let's go to the seller campaigns or offers. You can offer an equity evaluation through doing a What's Your Home Worth campaign. We have this here in-house at Chime Nerd. So if you're interested, we can talk to you about that. So that is a good offer because you create curiosity, and you don't send this to everyone. You look at people that probably have owned that home from maybe 5 years and above, I would say, because they may be more likely to want to sell versus someone that just got the home. They don't want to. They're still settling in, so And then the other offer I could think about for sellers is you can offer a consultation to see their home maybe, and how you go about that. Sometimes you would say, okay, I'm going to be in your area this weekend, if it's an email, and if you'd like, I'd like to come and see your property if you're ready to sell or something like that. Just make it sound personal versus just a mass email. Personalize it. There's some tricks to get to the message, but I would say if you are serving an area, you need to drive by, know some of these homes, where they are. You understand the features, you understand the terrain, you understand, so that if you get on, let's say, a consultation call with this seller, you can literally point out places and things that are happening in that community. So an equity evaluation, a consultation, either in person or a phone consultation. Another offer you can offer them is maybe a holiday turkey drive or something. They're sellers, they're in their homes. That's a good way to interact. And
I just want to comment on the home valuation funnel too. We did one recently where we built a value ladder. So it looked like this. It might be, first we get them thinking about the Zestimate, the number in their head, and thinking that maybe they need a second opinion, that there's different data that you get from your MLS, number one. And then we get them to the home valuation tool that we built a landing page. Number two, and then next you could offer a home report. You can do home reports with a click of a button in the back end. You get 5 free per month, and you can pay a little bit extra and get more. And then next step up would be to give them a full-blown CMA. And then if they still want to continue with that, you could, like she said, offer to come out and look at the upgrades and things like that, and then get them on a quarterly equity report. So that would be what the funnel would look like. And now you're giving them value, 3, 4, 5 steps of value, each one more valuable than the previous.
And now that we're going to the holiday season, again, remember, sellers are once buyers, and they live in these homes. They have families, or they're just by themselves. They need to see you, feel you, and feel like you're not just coming to them to ask all the time. So what are you actively doing in that community? And if there are events that you are either hosting or your brokerage is hosting, invite them. Yes, it's not a sales offer, but it is an offer to meet and get to know each other, familiarize, connect, because with that connection then comes building the community building, where now you have a place to send them. If you have a page for your let's say neighborhood that you run, or are the admin, those work really great. Say, hey, join my community page. This is where I host a podcast every single week. I go live. I address the needs of people that are either thinking of buying into this community or people that are thinking of selling. So serve the seller, serve the buyers, but do it right. Offer something instead of always asking. We know at some point they're going to either buy or sell, but always lead with value. And I think that's the end of our...
Yeah, and I just want to make one more comment too about you started going down the path of events. I think that's a really good one. Local events where you're giving without asking anything in return, but what a great way to get leads.
Yeah.
Like Halloween events, food drives. I mean, anything that you could organize or even show up at events, the farmer's market or something like that, and set up a booth. Great way to get leads in. And you're not trying to sell them a home yet. All you're trying to do is capture an opted-in lead by offering them something in return. And one of the best things you have if they're a homeowner to get their address and get them to opt in is that home report, equity report, home valuation. If I'm a homeowner, I always want to know the real number in my head.
All right, this is the end of our session today. We hope this helped. And if you have any questions, you can always book a call with us at chimenuts.com. Steve?
chimenerds.com, and for video content, justvideoit.com. Justvideoit.com.
Thank you so much. We will see you tomorrow, same place.